those institutions are the ones we require to withhold stamp duty on our behalf and pay us to and pay to URA. Those ones do file monthly returns. Those institutions, the banks, the microfinance institutions, the insurance company, do file bulk returns and pay at once from collections which they have got from their clients in a given period of time. But when an instrument is between individuals,
Yes, like I'm a working.
yes, between individuals, maybe I've bought something, we have made an agreement, a sale or purchase agreement. There, that one is equally subject to stamp duty, and the rates also are in two categories. Some are fixed, some are ad valorem. Some fixed ones.
Fixed. What does that look like? If it's fixed, it's standard. Like
It
you have
is
to pay
standard
this,
like
this,
15,000 for
Fixed.
an agreement, 15,000 for a caveat, 15,000 for an affidavit.
That's
So
standard.
some instruments have fixed rates, and these others, like the mortgage, as she has mentioned,
ad valorem?
transfer, those ones, their rates are ad valorem. They depend. There's a percentage rate which is charged on the amount in the instrument. So if it's a mortgage, you are getting a loan of a certain amount. So we apply 0.5% on it. If it's a transfer, 1.5% of the value given by the chief government value. So that particular instrument, to declare it or to go through the process of paying stamp duty, you have to go on the URA web portal, which is ura.go.ug. When you log to you go to the declaration of instruments, where you are able to get to that to the portal, to the window. You fill in your details as a person. You select the nature of the instrument. Maybe it is an agreement. Maybe it is a police certificate of good conduct. There are so many instruments, and some of them fall in various ministries.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for those ones which are of public offices. But you go there, you select the particular instrument, the system itself shows you the amount you are supposed to pay. When it generates the amount you are supposed to pay, you are able to submit that application or declaration, which we as URA receive in our system.
Okay.
And after declaring, you declare from anywhere where you can access a computer and a computer which is internet enabled. You declare from anywhere. Then later on, you come to our office. If it's like an agreement, you come to our office for you to be assessed and issued with an assessment and a payment registration number. Then you proceed to the bank, you pay. After paying, you come back. We are able to check if the payment has been, it confirmed that payment in our system. After that, then we process to issue you a barcode, which barcode plus the reference number for your declaration, you are able to generate a stamp certificate. But in any case, we normally also generate that stamp certificate, which you attach to your instrument.
Okay.
And proceed to where you want to apply it. Yes.
So can I use mobile money is that okay? Or it has to be like
Mobile app, payment app to be able to effect the payment.
okay.
Yes.
And then, so what happens in the event that I feel like URA is stressing me? You know, I don't want to go through this whole get a stamp. What are there repercussions to that?
Well, if you don't pay stamp duty is a form of revenue to government. You see, as we have said, it's a non-tax revenue. The others are tax revenue. They are based on someone's income. But this one is a charge, a fee or a levy, or call it whatever, is based on the fact that everyone who executes an instrument, and by an instrument, I mean any document by which a right or liability is or purports to be created, limited, transferred, extinguished, or recorded And that means that any instrument we sign between me and any other person, because if you are doing a transfer, either me, I'm a buyer, I'm getting the right over that property, and the other person was the previous owner, is relinquishing his right over that property. So that is what is in the definition of a document or an instrument. So if you don't pay, you are denying government revenue, and we should know we are supposed to contribute to the
national
development
of
of
our
this
country.
country.
Yes.
So that doesn't go, can't go lying down. So there are consequences. One, every person to whom an instrument which is liable to stamp duty is presented to, and they discover that it wasn't subjected to stamp duty, they are supposed to impound it. And any public officer who, by execution of his duties, some instruments or documents come to their hands or office, they are supposed to verify whether stamp duty was subjected to them. If not, they are supposed to be impounded and brought to the revenue authority for charging.
In fact,
So-
it's a form of authentication. Once you
So-
don't pay stamp duty, then you're not authenticating the contents within that.
Within that instrument. So it's not legal.
You see, it should not be able to be accepted in court as
like
a
any
valid,
evidence. or
as any
anything like
evidence.
that. Okay.
So that is one. Then the two, there is a penalty. Yeah, if you pay, we are supposed to charge you as an authority 100 currency
Currency
points,
points.
which is equivalent to
equivalent
2 million, or 6 months, or not more than 6 months of imprisonment. So those are the consequences
No one wants that.
of not subjecting your instruments to for stamp duty.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
And Hasa Strategy talked about how this stamp looked a certain type of way. How can I be able to look at a stamp and then I'm like, this is probably not like this is it's not a real stamp. Is there something like that? Are there like specific features a person has to look out for?
Yes, features are there. Initially, as she narrated, we used to do manual stamping, those oval orange stamps on instruments. But now we do e-stamp. We print for you a paper written on e-stamp. That paper has its reference number,
Okay.
and it has
The barcode.
a barcode, and it has some certificate number plus the PR in which you used to pay.
Okay.
Yes. So those three
Those are some of the
can be
like unique
validated
identifiers.
on the web portal. You can key them in on the web portal to find out whether that instrument is genuine or not. Yes, by face value you may not easily
Yes, you
tell
can-
because
You may not
a
discern.
fraudster will always try to do his best.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, that's helpful. And so, taxpayers, this is the point where you can send in your questions, and we shall be happy to channel them to the experts because this is your chance to interact with them and ask them everything you need to know about stamp duty and what instruments need to to be subjected to it, how much you need to pay. Just keep those questions coming in. And back to our dear panelists. So if I'm having trouble, maybe validating a document, or I want to make a payment and I am stranded, how can I reach out either to the team here, or you, Violet, come in? How can someone be supported who is stuck?
Our staff or our officers, all URA DT officers,
Okay.
are very well equipped to handle our clients. In case someone wants to do any stamp duty transaction, they can walk into our offices and have their instrument declared be guided where to make payment from, because for payments, we can use the banks, we can use mobile money, we can use all the modes of payment, the same way we make payments for those other tax heads. Our taxpayers, after getting the stamp duty assessment or PRN, can walk into any banking hall or even use mobile money to effect their payments. And after a payment has been made, our officers are very well equipped to issue barcodes to our taxpayers and also print for them the stamp certificates before they can proceed to wherever they are going to submit these instruments.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And so, as
To our viewers, maybe what I would like to reaffirm is that we decentralize the stamp duty processes, because the fact that we started at Kampala Road on Diamond Trust, it's like they are not aware that it can be done elsewhere. You find people coming from another region of the country, but it can basically be done anywhere because we are now on digital. You don't need to come from Kampala, and you helped. That is one. And secondly, maybe what I would like to tell our clients, there are many instruments, but more so I would like to pick out this instrument. Kindly, if you have divorced, it's an instrument. Kindly pay stamp duty and authenticate it, because at the time when you're in court and you're trying to back out an issue, it would be difficult for courts to listen to you when your divorce is not authenticated. You know, there are some of the things we live with, and moving out is not cool, but authenticating that movement to be legally appreciated by those who listen to you. I think it's very important to see, and those who have Vivandians, kindly do pay stamp duty on the agreement. Because in most cases, they have that agreement, how they got the Chivandi, at least pay stamp duty. Because you're authenticating it. At that time when the neighbor is on your neck and you are not in agreement of the boundaries or anything, that is when you will know that paying stamp duty against that agreement was vital, so that your case is not thrown out of court. There are many things there are many instruments that are there, but probably the public will need some more time to let them know what we call an instrument. It's when you hit that issue, you're hitting a dead end, that is when you know that stamp duty probably was meant to be payable on what you're holding moving forward. But however, I would like to thank Ugandans for supporting us as Uganda Revenue Authority in all that they do give us, because we are the ones that collect, but we collect from our clients' instruments, and the preparation has been there. We'd like to thank them very much, because we are in this cause together. There is no way we are going to develop the nation without everybody taking their fair share of taxes, because we have a mandate to deliver the country to economic independence. How will that happen when we are not doing what is expected of us? So I would like to thank Ugandans and anybody who gives us whatever penny. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
thank you, Hassan. Viola, please talk to our audience.
Yes, thank you, our viewers. I would also love to emphasize when it comes to transfer of land, for any transaction that has been valued 10 million and above, our dear taxpayers, you're supposed to make a declaration using the TIN of the buyer and the TIN of the seller. We've experienced a few issues here and there whereby some of our taxpayers, especially those who are selling land, do not have TINs, and probably they are not aware that they are supposed to have TINs to carry out these transactions. But just to bring it to your attention, as long as the transaction is being valued 10 million and above, you're supposed to use a tin of the buyer and that of the seller. And for those who do not have tins, a tin is free. Walk into any URA office with your national ID and you will go away with a tin and you will be supported to make that land transaction that you want to make.
Okay. Thank you, Viola. And you mentioned that, if I'm selling land, of a tin, for the transaction to happen. So what if, some of the people who sell an old lady in a village, and after that, after this transaction has happened, she's probably not going to have use for the tin. So what happens after I make the land transaction, and then what happens to my tin?
When you're registering for a tin, there are actually different options, different tax heads under which someone can get a tin. When you look at the instant tin, you can be in business, you can be having rentals, you could be having a property, it could be employment. So when we are issuing a tin to this person, we shall make sure we select the right tax head for them.
Okay.
And it helps us to know that this person probably is not in business and specifically needs this tin to carry out a transfer of land. Yes.
Okay.
And maybe besides that, they can deactivate the tin after that.
Or after the transfer.
Yes, they can deactivate.
Because Priska, it's like normally when we have citizens that are under compensation, say a road is going to pass in their land and they need to surrender part of it to the Uganda government. Normally what happens, you find where the land is passing and people who are no longer in any gainful business. So what we do, we offer them tins, but once they have gotten payment from, because all payments have to go through IFMIS, that's a system, government system, and they have to have a tin against each payment. So once the payment has gone through, you just come back and deactivate those tins. And once they have paused to reactivate them, equally they come back and inform us. Yes.
That's very helpful. Thank you. I love it. David, you can share your closing remarks.
Okay, thank you, viewers. As we conclude, I want to bring to your attention some stamp duty payment which is normally not known by those who pay it, and that is stamp duty on motor third party. Yes, insurance. It's normally 35,000, but it is part of the 75 you normally pay for information or messages on their phones that you paid this and this, and they can't identify with that 35,000, and they are asking, I didn't make this transaction. So actually, you paid the stamp duty, only that you didn't realize that it was embedded in that motor third party. And when you pay it, it may be that you even sold away that vehicle, only that the one who is having it, you didn't transfer. So the payment is reflecting in your tin. So you get the message, and when they tell you paid third party, that no, I even don't have a vehicle, but that is the cause of it. If in case someone has experienced it, or is to experience it in the future. Then the other message I want to pass on is to the professionals. We hadn't been focusing so much on this stamp duty on professional license, the certificates. We have started engaging the professional bodies like the Law Society, Uganda Law Society, Institute of Certified Public Accountants, and all those
the architects,
the architects,
the engineers and surveyors.
So we are urging them to be withholding on behalf of URA and file the bulk return and pay that amount. So when you hear, if you are a professional, if you are an accountant, if you are getting a certificate for the first time, from that body, you're supposed to pay 100,000. 2, that is one, the lifetime, because you've got it, you've got it. But then, if you're a practicing accountant or engineer, you will need a practicing certificate or license, which is renewable after a certain period. It may be after a year. So there, every other time you renew, you are supposed to pay that 100,000. So when it comes to your attention, please be aware of it and embrace it as much as possible, because it's part of the revenue generating drive we are on. Otherwise, I hope you had a good understanding of stamp duty and the instruments which are subject to it. If you're welcome, any questions, if you are available. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, David. Thank you so much to Viola and Hudson, to the whole panel. It has been very informative, and I'm sure that's there. I think too about stamp duty and way more knowledgeable than this started. The questions kept coming in, but I just kept bringing them in as the conversation happened. To our taxpayers, thank you for listening in. Thank you for watching. We look forward to working together to the development of our country. And also, if you struggle or you face any challenges with getting instrument stamped, you can always walk to URA, you can always call our contact center, you can always write to us on WhatsApp. We are very eager to help you. We are here to serve you. So do not feel shy to reach out. We are here to serve you, and together we're here to develop our country, Uganda. Thank you. Have a good day, and look forward to seeing you again in the next episode with Alliance Islam.
Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together. 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 Uganda Revenue Authority.